Hey everyone, Anne-Marie Life Coach here. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube, and if you want to check out my website, it's annemarielifecoach.com. So today's video is about how you can learn to accept yourself. So in a world where we live, where there really is a big polarity about what is acceptable in a person and what isn't, and who told us what was acceptable and who told us what wasn't. So, I work a lot about beliefs and emotions. That's my biggest thing that I teach people and I coach people around is their beliefs and their emotions. So what comes first? Well, it's a hard one to say, isn't it? It's the chicken and the egg. Does the belief come first or does the emotion come first? Well, actually, for me, the emotion would have to come first, because things don't mean anything. Experiences don't have no meaning until we place a meaning on it. And for us to place a meaning on it, we first must have experienced something quite, let's say, traumatic. Now, trauma can come in many different forms. It doesn't have to be anything big and majorly severe that you might think. A trauma can be a child forming a belief that they're not worthy, that they're not good enough to play with a certain group of people at school. That can be a traumatic event for someone. So we have to attach meaning onto that event. So on some level, at some point in our life, we have to have placed an emotion, and on that emotion, on that event, we've placed a meaning. So if the emotion was shame, then we have placed the meaning that means shame. If I do that, or if they look at me that way, or if I say this, or if I act a certain way, then that experience is going to repeat itself, and I hold on to that feeling of shame. And you can hold on to that feeling of shame for however long you like, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. And it is simply a belief. It's a meaning that you've placed on a certain set of circumstances long ago that you still hold as a belief. So this is true for all of our emotions. So how do we begin to accept ourselves? Then it is about letting go of the judgment that you've placed on yourself. It's about letting go. It's about assessing the beliefs that you hold. So think about the ways where you don't accept yourself. So is it in a job situation? Is it in a relationship? Is it in a friends and family situation where you don't accept yourself, where you feel that people possibly won't accept you for you? So think about, well, what is it about you that you feel people don't accept? Go back in your adult mind now and analyze and negotiate and reframe what you believe, because you can't always believe your thoughts. If you've taken on this belief as a 7-year-old child, possibly slightly younger or slightly older, that young child only had a certain amount of emotional intelligence. It only had a certain amount of resources and intellect, comprehension of the world, comprehension of other people. So that little child needs to be, brought up into the adult shoes. You need to bring that child into your adult awareness, and you need to look at the ways that you feel non-acceptance from an adult point of view. If you find that hard to do, then it's about questioning, do you really want to let this go? If you find it hard to look at where you've taken on these beliefs, and you find it hard to think about letting them go, it might be because you're not quite clear on how you want to be, or you're not quite clear on the new beliefs that you want to bring in. So a new belief might be that I am lovable, that I am acceptable, that my personality is acceptable. But again, it's acceptable to who? It might be acceptable to that group. Is it acceptable to that group? You know, again, are you then going to kind of intertwine yourself to try and fit in with everybody and please everybody else? Or is this more about having to accept you? So if you get a feeling in your body when you think about accepting yourself, then again, it all comes back to the way that you hold yourself, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you're judging and criticizing yourself. And again, this comes back to another video I've posted about self-loathing and self-criticism. So if you haven't watched that, I'd probably suggest that you watch that, because this will help you get clear on the areas that you're not accepting of yourself. Because it really is only the meaning you are placing on these situations, on these events, that are keeping that belief of non-acceptance in power or in place. And to dismantle that position it has over you, or that power or hold it has over you, then you need to, from an adult point of view, with all the resources you've gained and understanding how other people may or may not think and work, and you know, their lives and their beliefs and what they've been through, and etc., etc., knowing that the human conditioning is very subjective, so what you believe is not necessarily what the next person believes, and that's true for us all. So we only ever resonate with our own beliefs, and quite often we might believe, or might be disillusioned enough to believe, that people think the way that we do. So whatever you find not accepting in yourself may totally not be what the other person is thinking about you. So again, it's about reframing the meaning you are putting on a situation. So I hope that helps. If you want to train with me, if you want to have a one-to-one, or if you have any questions, then check out my website. It's annemarielifecoach.com.